So it depends on what it is, where it is. So, you know, cap rates and interest rates are relative, right? So cap rates have been compressed and at, you know, all-time lows, but sort of the interest rate. So it's kind of a relative thing. You know, when cap rates were higher, interest rates were higher. So the cap rate game is interesting. So cap rates are kind of meaningless unless it's a stabilized core plus asset, right? If you're looking at, you know, a value add or something that has upside opportunity, the cap rate going in doesn't really affect anything. It's the exit cap that you're really looking at. But what you really want to look at now is you want to look at this portfolio game. Okay, so at the higher levels, you want to look at an asset aggregation play. Okay, so there may not be a whole lot of upside potentially, but the value add upside is in collecting assets so that you can facilitate a bigger transaction for a bigger investor down the road. Take a fragmented market, pool those assets together, roll them up, and create a opportunity for a fund to come buy that. So you could pull together 100 houses. That makes a great portfolio for some of these companies that are looking for single family rentals. You could pull together 20, 30, 50 unit buildings. There's equity funds that target those types of things. You could pull together 200 to 500 unit buildings, you know, class A, B. You know, there's equity funds and institutional investors that look for those types of things. So, you know, you got to look at it in a different way. Your value add moving forward may not necessarily be an increasing income, although you might be able to through operational efficiencies, revenue centers, whatever. But if you look at it from that standpoint and say, well, what's the big value add now, like a development? You know, you build ground up, you get it leased up and you sell it. There's a lot of margin there. So asset aggregation, pooling fragmented properties, self-storage is a big, you know, industry where that's happening, where institutional investors are going in and kind of doing that. They're buying up and rolling up self-storage units so that these other bigger funds, you know, have a transaction that they can facilitate, because they have to move hundreds of millions to, you know, even $1 billion, right? So that's a great value add play there, where you can have some real margin, especially even in single family. You know, there's a lot of funds that are doing for rent subdivisions, so developing subdivisions ground up just for rentals. And then, you know, there are still funds out there that are buying, you know, random, you know, single family homes. Now you got to research them and understand what they're looking for. So then you go collect those assets, put them together so that you can sell them 200, 300, 400, 500, 1,000 homes at one time, because that's what they're looking to buy.